All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah HaKodash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS Great Millstone, and a sincere Shalom to Yakim bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. Hey, I'm going to let this video play, man, and it's filthy, you know. The lyrics are filthy, so I'm just giving a warning now, but hey, this is ultimately the state of Israel as a whole, right? So here it is. Now here it is. You got what, 3 N-dubs, four N-dubs weaved out in front of a fucking KFC, overweight, blonde hair, 40 ounce in the hair, in the hands, so like your long nails, just complete, just through. But Esau loves to promote this type of behavior, man. Hey, even look at the woman here that's about to speak on it. You know, even she's disgusted. Hey, but this is the black culture, you know, Jake fights for. You know, this is black culture, man. This is straight death. This is not promoting life in any way. This is how far we fell as a nation, man. Hey, when the scriptures tell us that the women of our nation, they wouldn't even have the sole of their feet touch the ground, you know, in their when we were better off as a nation, you know, closer to that first estate. Now it is, hey, they're just complete, just through, man. Hey, and it's no hope for these beasts, man, because that's what they are. These aren't women; these are beasts. And you majority of the women of our nation are just like this, or they promote the life that's like this. So I'm gonna allow her to speak, and I'm gonna hop into the scriptures. And even in that, you know, she brought up Sexy Red, but it was before Sexy Red too. You know, Trina, she was a part of it. Little Kim, she was a part of it. It was even a woman in like the 60s, 70s rapping nasty, just like the horse today, man. You know, but he promotes this type of behavior because he loves seeing our people in this destitute position. As long as Jake is in this mindset, hey, they're far away from their power, man. Of no hope. This is what a destroyed people looks like. But let's go into the precepts. And as you see, I got a couple precepts here. I'll start off in the book of Isaiah, the first chapter. Right? This is Isaiah 1, and I'm going to start here at 2. It says, "Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord Yahweh hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me." And how? Hey, number 1, hey, when you go into the first commandment, as a matter of fact, let's just grab it, right? This is Exodus 20 at the top. And it reads, "And Yahweh spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me," right? "Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth." And what did Jake do? Jake started committing a spiritual fornication or idolatry, you know, immediately, right? As soon as Jake got saved from their condition in Egypt, from that slavery in Egypt, what did they do with the gold? Made a golden calf. So them seeing the miracles, and them being in the midst of the Lord, you know, taking care of them wasn't enough. And that's why the remedy for a 2/3 is fire. That's why when when the judgment comes unto the nation of Israel, as the scripture says in 1 Peter 4:17, "For judgment must first start at the house of Israel," we're not going to have any sympathy for niggas, man. These niggas deserve judgment from Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. They're not even trying. You know? We understand we're not perfect, you know? But we're fighting and trying, man. And it's a daily fight. Even you even have Israelites in the circumcision who think they got it, got it made, man. Got the keys already. but are blatantly going off. It says, "Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know. My people doth not consider." Right? It says, my people, in the NLT, it says, my people don't recognize my care for them. Right? Neither do they care. There's going back in the KJV, verse 4. It says, "A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity." Let's go into this word laden. Right? We know a ladle is like that big soup saucer utensil, right? It says laden. It says heavy, great, very oppressive, hard, difficult, burdensome, right? To be laden. It says the heaviest of this viscera, both in weight and important. And when you go into viscosity, it's basically the how can you say it? The not the weight, but it's more so the for example, I'll just give an example of something being more viscous than the other. Syrup or molasses is far more viscous than water, right? It's thicker, so Jake being laden with that iniquity, they're fully covered in it. They're drenched, right? It says not easily moved because of weight, abundant, right? Oil is more viscous than water. That's just another comparison, right? Let's go into this root word, and that's H3515. This is the root of it. Let's see. That was the point. All right, let's get back to it. It says, verse 5. I got to finish verse 4. "A people laden, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahweh. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are going away backward. Why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. From the sole of the foot even unto the head there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises," right? The scriptures talk about in the book of Ezekiel 16 how, Yahweh Shema Shai adorned Israel, brought them up out of the state of just of being through, when no one cared for them, and when they were basically homeless, and when they were bruised, he adorned them, adorned us. But Jake put that all to the side. Now I'll grab it after this. It said, "But wounds and bruises and putrefying sores, they have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment." So they just a mess, man. Just like a whore walking the street with no bandages, all scabbed up, all disease ridden and stricken. That's how we look at Jake, man. If we're disgusted at the state of our people, how much more Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man? Right? So let's grab that in the book of Ezekiel. I'll grab a few points out of it because the whole chapter goes, but I'm going to start at the top. It says, then, Ezekiel 16 at the top, it says, "Then another message came to me from Yahweh, son of man, confront Jerusalem with her detestable sins." Right? This is the NLT, by the way. It says, "Give her this message from the sovereign Lord. You are nothing but a Canaanite." Right? And the Lord is comparing us to a heathen, right? Comparing our nation to heathens. It says, "Your father was an Amorite and your mother a Hittite. On the day you were born, no one cared about you. Your umbilical cord was not cut, and you were never washed, rubbed with salt and wrapped in cloth." And the ancient custom of salting, it goes back into basically when a baby is born, salt was rubbed on the skin of that baby, to not only thicken the skin, but the properties of salt allowed that baby's immune system, to build up quicker, right? It says, "and wrapped in cloth." It says, "No one had the slight interest in you. No one pitied you or cared for you. On the day you were born, you were unwanted, dumped in a field, and left to die." Here it is. Us as a nation, until we were graced with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, until we were adorned, we were nothing. So without his adornment, we go back into that state. right? Now I'm gonna jump down. This is 14. It says, your fame soon spread throughout the world because of your beauty. I dressed you in my splendor and perfected your beauty, says the sovereign Lord Yahweh. But you thought your fame and beauty were your own. Right? Jake basically has that mind state of that, oh, I got to the point where I'm at by my own power. I don't need the Lord no more. And when you take a look at it, this is that behavior. You know? Ultimately, this is part of what Eve seen in the garden. You know, she seen fat just, yeah, I ain't gonna even go all the way in, but she seen this type of behavior. She seen these videos, and she seen the women winning custody of a child in the court system. She seen Section 8. She seen EBT. She seen, you know, all the teats, right? She seen the benefits. She seen her usurping authority over the man, and she ran with it, right? It says, but you thought your fame and beauty were your own, so you gave yourself as a prostitute to every man who came along. Your beauty was theirs for the asking. Hence, going back to spiritual fornication or idolatry, right? You used the lovely things I gave you to make shrines for idols. Hey, and here it is. He has no problem, you know, promoting this behavior because it affects the younger generations. He doesn't want a nation of young men, that are calling upon the names of Yahweh Bashim Shai and young women who are in order underneath those men. He wants a nation of bad bitches, you know. He wants a nation of baby daddies, of hoes, you know, of YNs, because that's what he promotes, right? And then he accuses that type of behavior of Jake until Yahweh Bashim Shai, until our power, man. But he's part of the problem. Right? He has done such a great job at destroying Jake, and that he doesn't even really have to put his finger on us anymore. Jake is going to destroy themselves. That's why when we go into the book of John 8:44, and it tells us, year of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. Hey, Esau's done a good enough job at destroying you. Jake is willingly doing it themselves now. Right? 16, you used the lovely things I gave you to make shrines for idols, where you played the prostitute. Unbelievable. How could such a thing ever happen? Right? And when you read the whole chapter goes into the filthiness of our people, man. So hey, it's a good read. You know, if you haven't read it, read it in NLT, man. You know, but I got more precepts that I want to grab. And I have them here. Ezekiel, the 22nd chapter. Right? Because it's speaking about the nation of Israel becoming dross. Right? And I'm going to get that word dross. There's Ezekiel 22. And I'm going to start here at... Start here at 17. And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, the house of Israel is to me become dross. Right? And when you read in NLT, it says worthless. But let's get that word dross. H5509 says dross, usually of silver, the sense of refuse. Right? Let's see if we can get that word refuse. Look up. Nah, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Let's get some more. It says repulsed at H4772. It says to be repulsed. It says apostatize. To renounce a religious or political belief or principle. And ultimately, the 2/3 of the nation of Israel have done that, man. They've renounced who they are, man, and have become straight demons, man. It says faithless. To be driven back or repulsed. Defeated, ultimately. Oh, it's like, let's go back into the drawers. I know it's more in here. It says, a baser metal which having been mixed with pure is separated from it by melting, right? So it's the worthless part of the metal. For example, they always say, this gold is 99.9% gold, right? Well, that 0.1%, right, is ultimately that dross, right? Or when you look at metals that aren't necessarily pure, you know, it may be 80% silver, 20% whatever, right? That 20% that burns off to get that 100% silver, hey, that was the dross, right? Let's get it. It says dross, junk, something regarded as worthless, rubbish, dregs, or mineral waste, scum, right? And when you I remember that movie, what was it, Little Rascals, you know, he gave that Larry to Darley. He said, "You are the scum beneath my toes, man." Right? Basically, you're worthless. You're nothing to me. And that's exactly how a Yahweh Bashim Shad looks at the 2/3 as just worthless, food for the fire, ultimately. And that's how we look at you niggas too, man. Right? Is Ezekiel 22. I'm gonna finish this out. It says, "Son of man, the house of Israel is to me become dross. All they are brass and tin and iron and lead. In the midst of the furnace, there are even the dross of silver." I gotta read it in NLT. It says, "Son of man, the people of Israel are the worthless slag that remains after silver is smelted. They are the dross that is left over, a useless mixture of copper, tin, iron, and lead. So tell them this. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Because you are all worthless slag, I will bring you to my crucible in Jerusalem." Right? And a crucible is basically that dish that holds that precious metal when it's going through that refining process, right? In that kindling, in that kiln, right? It says, "Just as copper, iron, lead, and tin are melted down in the furnace, I will melt you down in the heat of my fury." I like how it's said more in the KJV. You know, it gets more personal. You know, this is verse 20. It says, "As they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace to blow the fire upon it, to melt it, so will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury, and I'll leave you there and melt you." The Lord is going to melt you niggas, man. He's going to melt you. That's why when we go into the book of, matter of fact, I believe it's not Zephaniah. Is it? Zechariah. So like it is Zechariah 14 and 12. "And this is the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouths." And that's the judgment the Lord is going to give 2/3 of the nation of Israel. He's going to literally melt every atom off of your body, man, because you need a hard reset. Hey, because if you're not speaking up against this foolishness, you're completely for it. You're completely for it, man. Here it is. These are your representatives. These are your representatives. This is the same demon, that can't sit in a normal chair. You know, in that Breakfast Club interview, they had to get a couch for her to sit on and give the interview. Completely just unhealthy in every sense of it. Spiritually dead, physically just through, and mentally just decomposing. But this is who our people look up to, right? And our women look up to these, and our men, you know, look up to the demonic King Vons and so forth and so on, man. You know, you can't make this up. This is the worst state Jake has ever been in, man. This is the lowest we've been in a nation, and it's filthy. It's filthy, you know. But we understand this has to come ultimately, because the destruction has to come. This is Jeremiah 2 and 21, and it reads, Salakia. It says, I'm gonna start here at 20. Man. Yeah, I'm gonna just start at 20. Yeah. It says, "For of old time I have broken thy yoke and burst thy bands, and saidest, I will not transgress, when upon every high hill and every under every green tree thou wanderest playing the harlot." And it's speaking about Jake, you know, giving themselves unto these idols. It says, "Yet I have planted thee a noble vine." Let's go into this word noble, right? H83:21, noble, It says choice species of vine of choice grapes, right? And a noble is a status, right? A status of honor. Ultimately, it says aristocratic, righteous, belonging by rank, title, or birth to the aristocracy, having or showing fine personal qualities or high moral principles, right? So the Lord gave us this wisdom in the sight of the nations to be that, holy, meaning separate, and righteous seed upon the earth, right? So he said, yet I have planted thee a noble vine, holy, a right seed. How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? This is H40, 54, 94 for the word degenerate. It says deteriorated. What's this? Sore? Oh, I guess that's just, it says sower, degenerate, foreign. Go right here. It says to turn aside, to be void, right? Or it says to avoid, Salakia, to put away, to depose, to retract. Degeneracy is going to degenerate, right? It says debased, corrupt, decline or deteriorate physically, mentally, or morally. That's spiritually, right? So Jake has just become morally or completely immoral, right? It says, for though thou wash thee with nitre, and take thee much soap, yet thine iniquity is marked before me, saith Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. How canst thou say, I am not polluted? I have not gone after Balaam. See thy way in the valley, know what thou hast done. Thou art a swift dromedary traversing her ways. I'm going to read that in the NLT. It says, you say that's not true. I haven't worshipped the images of Baal, but how can you say that? Go and look in any valley in the land, right? And that's what you can do, man. You can literally think about any major city in Babylon the Great, man. And you're going to find just hoods and hoods of niggas, man. Every major city has, a plethora of hoods where Jake is just in the worst state. And even if you leave the hood, go into the higher, quote unquote, higher value Jake, man, in terms of celebrity status. Even bigger demons. Hey, now they're demons with with status and money, with leverage. Completely sold out. SOUL apostrophe D, man. Sold out unto E. You take a look at who Jake upholds. Niggas like Jay-Z, niggas like Diddy, Beyonce, so forth and so on, man. Completely through too. It's not just the lower level Jakes, it's all of the nation of Israel, man. On every level. Every level. Continuing. I'm gonna grab another precept. Now I'm gonna close out because I know it's getting lengthy, but the point is, we gotta bring out the scriptures, gotta get the meat off the bone, man. This is Lamentations 2 and 15. Right? Because these are how the nations look at us. This Lamentations 2, verse 15, and it reads, all that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? Right? They're saying it in a mocking way. Because here it is, we're supposed to be the standard of righteousness upon the earth. But instead, it speaks for themselves. It says, all thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee, right? Scoffing. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up, right? And this is why Esau also basically gives forth those statistics why it's okay to put you down, man. Because Jake is just a bunch of animals. It says, they say, we have swallowed her up. Basically saying we destroyed her. Certainly this is the day that we looked for we have found, we have seen it. Right? I'm going to close out with this precept here in the book of Deuteronomy 23. Right? It's Exodus 23, verse 17. It says, Salakia. Now my app is just closing. Come on now, man. This is coming from the book of Exodus, Salakia. One second. Yeah, this is it. Deuteronomy 23 and 17. I had it on the page. It says, there shall be no whore of the daughter of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel, man. Right? So, we're the state that we're in, this is not how it's supposed to be, man. There aren't supposed to be any whores of the daughters of Israel, man. Right? It says, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel, right? And we understand when you read it here, it says it goes into the being a temple prostitute, right? But Jake is just a full-blown degenerate, man, right? So judgment has to come into the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, man. Thus saith the scriptures. Matter of fact, I'm going to end off with that in the book of Zechariah 13 and 8. Is the book of Zechariah 13 and 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. Right? 2/3, around 66.6% of the nation Israel, so to speak, has to be destroyed. It's no curing them, right? It says, but the third shall be left therein, right? The 1/3 in which the Lord is going to save, as well as the 144,000, which consists of the 12,000 out of each of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Right? It says, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and the name is important. The name is everything. Yahweh, meaning he is. Yahushai, meaning he is the deliverer. Those are the names of our power, man, of who the world ignorantly calls God and the Messiah. Right? They shall call on my name, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord Yahweh is my power. So that's the point, man. Hey, we got to get out of here, man. Just this place is vexing, and Jake is only getting worse, right? So, hey, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the body. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Harakah HaKodash. A double honors unto the apostles and elders of JMS Great Millstone, and a sincere shalom to Ya'akim bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. Shalom.